Overlord Season 4 Episode 12. And man, what a weird episode this was. I actually didn't expect to see this type of episode in the 12th episode of the 4th season. Now that it is almost ending, it was actually pretty weird. Not that it is bad or anything like that, because I mean, we got some pretty interesting stuff that happened in the episode, but compared to the last one, I gotta say it wasn't that great compared to the last episode. But I mean, I guess at the same time, if you compare any episode to the last episode, anything will seem to be not that good. So yeah, if we don't take into account the last episode, then I guess you can say this episode was pretty normal, maybe a little bit good, but that's it. So yeah, kind of surprising to see this type of episode. The reason I say this is because the episode as a whole is pretty slow paced, because we don't see that much things happening in the episode per se. Like I said already, we do see some pretty interesting stuff, but not at the fast pace as I thought they were going to be. And yeah, the episode basically starts with Princess Renner and with Clam going around the kingdom, visiting some people, you know, giving them food and things of that nature. And yeah, I mean, the first half of the episode is focused on that. It's focused on mainly Princess Renner, on Climb, on Brain, and on Lakyus and her party. And yeah, I guess that is how I would describe the first half of the episode. And the most important thing that happened in the first part of the episode was the scene that we got where Lakyus was stabbed. And when that happened, I was actually pretty surprised, because I actually thought they were going to kill her. I thought they were going to, I don't know, betray her in a way and kill her for some unknown reason. So yeah, I was actually pretty surprised when that was happening. And when they explained the reason that they did that, I was even more surprised, because I didn't think they were actually going to stab her and going to hurt her that much just to knock her out. But yeah, I mean, they actually did, just to knock her out, because Evil Eye and everyone else didn't want to basically have her stay in the capital and defend it, because they knew that if Lakyus stayed in the capital and defended the capital, she was going to die. Not probably going to die, she was actually going to die, because there was no chance she was going to defeat Cocytus or Ainz. So yeah, it was actually pretty smart when you think about it, that they actually knock her out, because that was the only way for her to basically not die. Because if she stayed awake, well, she was going to die, because she was going to stay there and defend the capital. But yeah, I mean, that was actually pretty gruesome, the way that they took her out. I mean, the way that they took her out, the way that they were speaking about her when they were stabbing her and, you know, fighting her, trying to knock her out, made it seem like they were actually going to kill her. But I mean, when it was explained a little bit later that they were actually doing it because they just wanted her to pass out, I was even more surprised, because I thought, well, they did all of that just to knock her out. That's actually pretty gruesome, pretty violent when you think about it, but I guess that was the only way. And the reaction of Princess Renner was actually pretty funny, because she was not even fazed by the thing she was seeing. She was just there appreciating in a way how Lakyus was getting beaten down by her own party. And even, I think it was Evil Eye or somebody else commented that she was pretty unfazed by everything that was happening, because yeah, I mean, she was pretty unfazed by everything that was happening. And I guess another thing to comment about this first half of the episode was that we see throughout the first half of the episode how Princess Renner is pretty chill. You know, she knows that the capital is being invaded. She knows that probably Cocytus is down there invading the capital and killing everyone. She knows that probably sooner rather than later, Ainz will also arrive in the kingdom. And we're faced with all that reality that is happening in her kingdom. She's not even faced or anything like that. She's not scared. She's not worried. And of course, we know the reason that she's not scared is because she is planning behind everybody's back to invade the capital. I mean, she's basically part of Ainz's guild at this point, so it is not surprising to see her doing that in a way. And I guess everybody else should actually question her, because I guess at this point they haven't actually questioned her why she's doing that, why she's not actually kind of scared and kind of terrified that they are invading the capital. They haven't actually interrogated her. So yeah, it is actually pretty surprising that they haven't done that, because maybe if they do that, they can actually find a little bit more about her and her planning behind everybody's back. So yeah, that is actually pretty surprising that at this stage of the anime they haven't actually questioned her or anything like that. I mean, nobody is suspicious of her. She's actually behaving herself pretty well when you think about it. And I guess the question that everybody has in their mind right now is if Princess Renner will be betrayed by Albedo and Ainz, or will she be a useful tool and will keep her alive? Because that is actually the question I have at this moment, because she's pretty chill knowing that she will escape with Albedo and with Ainz, but we don't really know if Albedo and everyone else in the Tomb of Nazareth have actually plans to keep her alive. I mean, in the previous episodes when they were talking about her, and by they I mean Albedo, Ainz, and everybody else, they made it seem that they will keep her alive, but we still don't have confirmation of that. And if they do keep her alive, what will Clyde's reaction to this be? Of course, that is all taking into account that Clyde finds out that Princess Rainier was basically planning behind everybody's back, because Albedo and Ainz can also protect her by just sending her someone else without necessarily implying that she was planning behind everybody's back in the kingdom. That way also Clyde doesn't actually feel betrayed by her. But if that is not the case, it will actually be pretty interesting to see how Clyde will react if he finds out that Princess Rainier was not this person that he thought she was. So yeah, that is actually going to be pretty interesting to see if it happens in the future. But yeah, there is actually a question that I have at this moment, if Princess Rainier will be kept alive or if she will be killed when all of this is done. I mean, she has been cooperating with the Tomb of Nazareth, so in a way I guess they can keep her alive, but it depends on how Albedo and everybody else see her after they are done invading the kingdom. Maybe they don't see her as a useful tool anymore and maybe they kill her. So I guess we'll see that also in the future. And the second part of the episode is basically focused on Brain and the challenge he wanted to have with facing Ainz and probably having a fight with him, a duel with him, which of course he didn't have the opportunity to do it because he was killed by Cocytus. It seemed like he was killed in the episode. I mean, it was implied that he was killed in the episode. Maybe he's still alive for some reason, or maybe he's not, but it will seem that he was actually, killed in the episode. But that is to be seen because we don't actually know when people die in Overlord or if they are actually alive, because there are many ways to revive a person. So yeah, we don't actually know if he's truly dead or if he will be revived later for some reason or another. So yeah, Cocytus actually paid respect to him because he actually didn't want to walk over him. He actually went around and walked besides him, because he could easily just walk over him and basically, in a way I was gonna say kill him, but he's already dead, basically destroy him more than he was already. So yeah, he actually went around him and actually proceeded to go to the capital, or to the castle I should say. So yeah, that is actually pretty interesting from Cocytus. We know he's not the most evil person in the Tomb of Nazareth, but it's still pretty surprising when we see that happen in the episode. But yeah, apparently now Ainz will also go to the kingdom, and he actually said that he's actually planning on losing against these dragon lords. He actually doesn't want to die when he faces again the dragon lord and loses, because he doesn't know for certain that he can be revived like everybody else can be revived. For example, like Chao Tier or a normal NPC can be revived, and because of that he's planning on losing but not dying. So yeah, let's see if he can make that happen. Of course he can make that happen. What am I saying? He's stronger than this dragon lord, or at least it is implied that he's stronger than the dragon lord. So yeah, of course he can maneuver a way to make himself lose without him dying. And yeah, like I said, he's planning on going to the capital, to the kingdom, and taking matters into his own hand, which is actually pretty interesting because he actually said in past episodes that he was actually disinterested now, because now that the prince has died, he didn't actually feel motivation to do anything. So I mean, that is actually good that he's now planning on going to the battlefield and basically going into the kingdom. I want him to meet Princess Rainier because that will be actually pretty interesting to see the interaction between Ainz and Princess Rainier, because if I'm not mistaken, we haven't actually seen them two interact. So hopefully they can interact, or maybe he will go to the kingdom, to the capital, because he wants to fight, so he doesn't necessarily want to go to Princess Rainier or anything like that. He's basically planning to go to the battlefield. I guess that is everything that happened in the episode. Like I said, a pretty shocking, interesting 12 episode. I actually didn't expect this 12 episode to be this type of episode. I expected it to be a little bit more like the last episode, like the 11th episode, in terms of action, in terms of drama. But no, I mean, we actually got a pretty interesting 12 episode. So let's see how the season ends. Let's see how the 13th episode shapes itself to be, because it has to end with a banger. I mean, I guess everybody wants it to be a banger. So yeah, let's see if it actually ends pretty good. That is my episode review of this 12th episode. Hopefully you enjoy it, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.